Hi everyone, it is Darren Hunter here from Inspire Growth Training, and I'm with Michael Sands and Dennis Youssef. Today
Hi.
we're talking on the Secret Shopper files from Sydney. Now, Michael, we had a really pleasant experience with this one.
Well,
Mixed. I
what?
think it was mixed.
You mean dealing with the client positive or like dealing with the area overall?
Let's fill everybody in. So when we do a secret shopper, we have a client that calls us, says, "Hey, for this reason, I want to know what my competitors are up to or whatever. Here is the name and phone numbers of 10 of my competitors. Can you please call them?" But we don't actually tell them that we add our client to the secret shopping list as well. So
Not all of them, Darren. Like, don't let everyone think they're getting secret shop
Yeah,
when they get our services. We do it when we
we had
feel
the
we want
time. Yep, we had the time to do it. There was a bonus for it, so we threw it out there.
but they're not
Yeah.
expecting it, are they? So this particular client, we have to say, out of all of the reports that we've done, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Auckland, Wellington, Phoenix, Arizona, in Florida as well, also over the three countries, this was probably one of the best calls that we've done.
So
Yeah.
calls. I think, are you meaning our client was?
Our client, correct. Calling
Yeah,
our
yeah,
client
yeah.
who didn't
Yep.
know we were calling.
Yep.
So we'll get to
And
that.
this client ranked really well.
Yeah.
That was exciting. I think that's what you're meaning. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just talk. We called 10 agencies in Sydney. We're not going to get any more detail about what location of Sydney because anonymity is very important. But Michael, one of the big standouts from these 10 agencies is that they seem to be really prominent in their sales side of things, but lacking in property management. What happened there?
Mate, I think a lot of cross borders were like that, where the sales agency side of the businesses were really shining through during the pandemic. And I mean, one agency that we rang, their point of difference was that their director was like number one in the chain of offices for 3 years straight. I mean, who cares? That's not a point of difference.
You could be number one, but you've got a 1-star ranking across the board too. It doesn't mean anything, does it?
I mean, Dennis, let's not get started about what their actual ranking was, right? Like, their reviews. Internally, like they're walking on cloud nine, but externally, like we just had their viewed. Like if that's how they're kind of preaching their business, that their sales company is going well and, they sell properties really fast, I'm a landlord. What do I really care about that? Like I'm looking for that service there.
Yeah.
And Darren, one of the most frustrating things through this is I don't think any of the people that we shopped really have called and secret shopped anything that's happening in their area. Like how many times do we hear, I don't care what they're doing up the road. I'm running my own race. I'm running my own race. I don't care what the other people are doing.
How do you know what your points of differences are if you don't know what your rivals are doing, for starters?
Like Dennis, like how's this been? Like we are finding out what points of differences are. Like these officers are quoting us.
Yeah.
Guys, they are terrible with a capital T. Oh my gosh. Points of difference. Oh, we have 30 years of experience in our office. What's that? 30 years of bad experience? Have you got 30 people that got 1 year experience? Have you got one person with 30 years alone? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, they're not actually giving us any comprehensive points of differences. It's and it's all the same. It's like someone saying, "Oh, but we've got zero tolerance of rent arrears." Okay,
we
that's
collect
great.
rent.
What is it?
Well, good. I mean, you should be collecting rent.
That's what I pay you for. So yeah, it's across the board in a prominent area of Sydney to see that they don't care, and the number of people that our team had to follow up. They had to follow up, right? We were chasing them, right? During this period, we were chasing them. It's we don't want to get onto the negative of it all, right? But it's just unfortunate that some of these points stand out. Imagine if we were a client. Like we're trainers, we're experts in the field. We do expect better from some of these agencies, and we're talking about prominent people, prominent online presence. Some of these people have got. And it was pretty disappointing to see from that point of view. And we'll dig in a little bit deeper through this and go through some examples.
Well,
But
let's go into some examples, right,
Can I
Dennis?
can I just ask first? Let's just ask
Yep,
a question
yep.
first. So, okay, we're in COVID. We've been in COVID now for quite a period. And so sales has been hit very hard.
Yep.
And a lot of these agents that we called in this particular marketplace are we do sales, we're prominent in sales, we push sales. The business owner is no doubt a salesperson, never done property management. Property management's that thing that's done on the side. What
Yep.
did you see in the overall tone of coming
Yep.
through? What suffering did you see property management suffering under these COVID conditions, and also sales prominent conditions as well? What did you notice?
Well, let's look at it this way. So let's preface it with this. We rang these agencies pre-COVID and during COVID, okay?
Yep.
So we have a really good layout of what they were like before and what they're like now. Before, heavily sales dominated. Like the offices really kind of focus on their sales team. That's also evidenced by like their social media channels, their YouTube channels, all that, like really, really heavy. Like if you want to find anything property management related, you got to dig for it. A lot of it's not clear and it's very muddled together. Bring it to the current COVID crisis, pandemic. What we're seeing is the sales aren't really there. The companies that are sales dominated are now bringing the sales guys in to the property management department so they can pay them some income during this time. Yep. Fair enough. But we're seeing property managers being asked to reduce their hours, reduce their salary. We're seeing some people being laid off so they can accommodate some sales agents, who would be high income earning for the company, still trying to be in the fold. Because a lot of these companies don't want to get rid of their top performing sales guys, right? Understandable.
Fair enough.
But a lot of these guys are just focusing on the sales, and the property management is that poor cousin, like you say, Darren. And now, they just don't really care all the time. The salespeople aren't equipped to handle property management. And then we see so much feedback in the marketplace, especially in New South Wales too, where the PMs are complaining that, hey, the sales guys don't know what they're doing. Fair enough. They're not trained on it. So the agencies need to give training.
Yeah. I did hear from our client that there is a property manager in that marketplace that was asked to take a 30% pay cut. Property management was doing fine. And as a property manager, they were working hard through all the crisis and then being told, sorry, the property management now is to support the sales team. You need to take a pay cut. It's really not going to incentivize those good property managers to stay. So it really does show the dominance of sales. And in the COVID there, it's really shown in a lot of ways, property management suffering.
It confuses me that too, Darren. Like when the agencies haven't taken a hit on their property management, like they're still getting the rentals, yet they're telling the staff that are giving their life, their love, their sweat, their tears to take a hit.
Yes. And when the sales is really up, and property management's down, is it in reverse? Are they sharing the load?
Should the sales team, and this is a whole other topic, but should the sales team be sharing some of their profit and revenue when the sales are up? Yeah. Right? If the PMs are taking a hit. But anyway, we're going off on tangents there.
We're going off kilter, but there's some good topics for discussion there. So, okay.
There is. Let me just say, I just want to jump on with the double calls that we did before and during. I don't think there was a higher intensity of, wow, I want your business during the COVID calls. No. So that was, to me, was a bit of a highlight. You'd think they'd be, oh my goodness, this is a new lead. I need to get this business right now, right? But there was no jump for joy. There was no intensity, no wanting the business. So, and we're talking about BDMs too.
We see people in the group though that are have that vigor that you're talking about. With so many people in the IGT Inner Circle, we see they're posting. They're going after these.
They are. They're chasing it. So I had only put a post in the group today asking how's everyone's leads, the new business leads. I'm not asking what their signups are, but is there still new business leads coming in? And there was 2 people that had mentioned, and one was in America. They were saying that their leads have dropped off. Everyone else is saying that they've still got the leads coming in, less leads, but they're converting more. Okay, so
the quality is there. The level of tie kickers.
That's right. So there's still a lot of new business coming in, and they're still chasing. So that's what's important. Whereas, your level of intensity when you're in sufferance should be higher. When your back's to the wall, you should be jumping at stuff. I mean, I'm on the phone for 45 minutes for an inquiry now that I used to be able to convert in 10 minutes. So, my intensity is up. I'm giving more time, but we're not seeing that being replicated.
Is there a sense of apathy and weariness, do you think?
I think there potentially
Weariness,
is. I think there is. And I really think that comes back to, where's that team building within a team? Where's that team building? I mean,
if the directors message down, if that's not consistent and, if it's doom and gloom.
Yeah, right. But let's hook into this.
Let's change pace a little bit. So just for our listeners and our viewers, if you want a secret shopper report done, get in contact with Michael. Just go to secretshopperfiles.com. That's secretshopperfiles.com. There's a form there. Fill it in. Mike will be in touch and talk about your marketplace. But okay, so we talked about one of the things was when we called a lot of these agencies, there was a lot of sales dominance, sales focus, all about us blowing our bags, et cetera, et cetera. However, when we called our client's agency, again, he had no idea we were calling. This was within the team, and the chatter that went on with the team after this was the best call that we've done out of the hundreds of offices that we've surveyed over 3 countries. What was some of the standouts with our particular client when we secret shopped him?
I think too, Darren, you can kind of see how passionate we are, like when we are doing these reports, and how involved we go and how many tangents we can go on, because you mentioned one thing, we're on another, and it's just wow and mind blowing. One of the things that really we appreciated from the report that we did with the client that we did it for, their love and enthusiasm, like their passion, like they genuinely wanted the business, and this it's evident with everything that they do, with the brand. And please don't get me wrong, Darren, if we thought otherwise, we'd be saying we thought it was terrible.
And we have done that in other recordings. You'll see. I actually got a phone call from our team saying, "Oh my goodness, this person is brilliant," and I knew who they were doing. I knew who they were talking about. It was joy. Yes, they're an IGT member as well, so that's a double bonus for us. But it's just good to know. It really is really good to know.
Good professional.
We know the person, we know his quality. We know, but it's just good to see that transferring to the front line, that he actually does walk the talk, and it was very refreshing.
Yeah, clear points of difference. Probably had similar mindset as far as how he thought the rest of the marketplace was going there. Like I said, like very forward with training, like actually has clear points of difference where they can say, we do training, we do this, we do that, Other agencies couldn't do it. They're relying on this unsubstantiated points of difference.
Yeah. What stood out for me as well is throughout the whole report, like I said at the beginning of this recording, we actually had to chase people for the information. So we make a phone call, they'll receive an email from us. And if the information is not sent to us within a certain period of time, a fair period of time, we actually have to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I haven't got it." This company, we didn't have to do that. They said, "I will send it, I'll get it to you," and it was delivered within that
good
period
reviews.
of time. Yeah,
good reviews for them, everything. A lot of other guys we assessed, reviews are mainly around the sales team, not a reflection of the property management. So you wonder how many genuine leads are they getting that are on the back of property management, or just a pleasurable sales experience. It's just amazing. Like, one of the things to point out, Darren, is, like I said before, their media channels, YouTube, sales related, not property management related. And for those that are wanting to get clear points of difference, like really kind of establish, what are you doing? What's your business? Are you property management? Fine. Do content around property management. Flood it with property management.
Yeah. Let's just talk about, again, back to our person, because the overall tone that we had by calling all of the other offices, the 10 competitors, was, they were blowing their bags, how good they are, et cetera, et cetera. But in this particular call that we did to our client, he really focused on the needs and the pain points, and made the prospect, the person on the phone, feel special. So that was a big difference as well.
They felt wanted. They felt like this person wants to help me. There was that personal touch put to it. And it wasn't a salesy pitch approach. It wasn't a singular transactional approach.
Yep.
Yeah, there was empathy in the call. And it's a big thing, having empathy. You know, we're dealing with massive changes at the moment. The empathy that we've got to give to our clients, right, throughout this period is the same that a BDM or a property manager needs to give to their landlords or tradespeople, etc.
Stability too, right? It's kind of giving that stability, and like as we know, like especially right now, people are looking for that leader, the person to stand up on their soapbox, to offer the stability, the guidance, you know, how they're going to get them through this and manage their property through, you know, through the next 12, 24, 36 months and so on.
Yeah.
And, you know, whether it's, the thing is the BDM that's doing the appraisal and trying to get the new business, there's no value there in them saying we've got 30, 40, 50 years experience when they have no experience, when they don't know how to manage the property, when they don't know what the PM team is doing, when they say, I've just listed the business and you'll be attached to a property manager once you sign up. You know, that flow and connective relationship there, it lacks.
Yeah. This particular office as well, they were backing up what they said they do video. You go to their YouTube, there's video there. They say they're on social media. You go to their social media. One of the things we do is we check the last 5 posts, and it's all within 5 days. So it means they're posting every day. You know, they've got the Instagram. They ticked all the boxes. They were walking the walk as well as talking.
And they know their numbers. Right?
Yeah, yep.
They
it was
know
just
their
a casual conversation. You know, we listened to these calls as well. So, it wasn't like, oh, you need to sign with me today because this is the offer I'm going to give you. You know, there was none of that. It was just a conversation like we're having here between us three.
So you delivered the report, Michael, to the client. I think it took well over an hour to deliver your findings. What was the biggest thing that our client got out of the delivering of the report? What was the biggest revelation that they got?
You know, I probably can't disclose that because it was massive. Like it was like an aha moment, right? And I think if we told everyone what that biggest revelation is, we wouldn't be doing our client justice. It wouldn't be fair. I would just suggest and this isn't a sales pitch, if you want to find out what those aha moments are, like call us. Like we can guide you through it. But you know, it's how do you explain it? For us, when we do these reports and when we dig, and again, it's not about fees for us. It's points of difference. It's relationship. It's growth. That, oh my gosh, Michael, I didn't realize I've been doing this, but I didn't have to, and I could have been doing this type thing. And it was really kind of, what's the word? Like overwhelming, I guess, for us to kind of realize that now they know this.
Yeah.
All this other things can change for a far more positive outcome.
Yeah.
And now I fear for everyone else in the marketplace.
Yeah, big time. Because the motivation this client's got to do better is, all I can say is look out. He was already, this office is already at the top. So their motivation is now time to bulldoze.
Now he knows the weaknesses. He's now switching to his marketing. He knows exactly now what kinks are in the armor, what gaps are there. Gaps is big enough to drive a bus through, and that's where he's now going to start focusing his marketing strategically from the report. But and
it's interesting because, Darren, you're going to be talking about this in the webinar that we're doing. You're talking about knowing your target market, knowing your audience, knowing the pain points. You're training on this in our webinar, right?
Correct.
So, so that'll be available for our IGT exclusive members. It's coming up. Now, this particular client, I'm going to ring them up and say, you need to be part of this webinar and watch it because you now know the A, B, C, D, and E's, and you can now focus it all on that, you know, and, you know, all about standing up in front of your client saying, hey, this is where you're feeling the pain. This is what we can do. And this is what we're doing. And so he can do that now.
educational videos will certainly do that, and that's what we're thinking at the moment.
Yeah.
But let's just move quickly. We've got to cover fees. Let's talk about the fees. So these are, I guess, got the fee matrix in front of me, which is the spreadsheet of all the fees that we were able to get revealed to us out of the 10 competitors. And what can I say? The management fees in this particular marketplace, Michael, they're all over the shop. So they're swinging from 5% up to 7% plus GST. Also the leasing fees. And here is something that I've picked up here. What we see across New South Wales, what we see across Queensland is this informal collusion going on where everyone just charge 1 week's rent plus GST. You'd think there was some sort of regulation in place that stops these agents going above 1 week's rent. A lot of them just a stiggler on that, but there is one agency here that's charging 2 weeks rent plus GST. That's the first time I've seen that in the Sydney market. Marketing fees all over the shop, as low as $77 right up to $300 for their internet marketing fees, but good that they're charging those. Lease renewal fees are swinging from $100 right up to half a week's rent plus GST in the same marketplace. So it's good to see them doing their half week's rent plus GST. Monthly admin fees are sort of swinging right from a low of $5 plus GST up to $8.80. And listen to this. There is one agent charging for routine inspections at $99. So well done to that agency. Because I'm constantly told that in Sydney, in New South Wales, you can't and you shouldn't charge routine inspection fees. Well, if you believe you're worth it, you should be charging it. You know how to justify it. Even when your competitors are not charging it, then you will be able to do that. So well done to that particular office. But also annual statement fees are going from a low of $22. So that's that charge for the end of financial year statement or the annual statement, $22, right up to $55. So at the end of the day, I think it's fair to say the fees are what you want them to be accordance to your level of worth and the service and the value that you bring to the market.
100%. And like those fees are, and again, I made the comment at the start when people say, I don't care what anyone else is doing, I'm running my own race. I think if you're running with blinkers on and you don't know who else is in your race, we're not telling you to copy what people are doing. We're saying be better, have clearer points of difference, charge your value, like charge what you're worth. You don't have to drop your fees to match the person down the street, but know how to differentiate, know how to demonstrate your value, because I promise you, if owners are calling you and all they're looking for is price, they are going to find the cheapest agent.
Yeah, and you need to explain to them why you are charging the fee, because you're saving, more money for your current clients. And that's why you're charging that fee. Darren, during a presentation, you need to be prepared for that owner to say, I just had ABC Realty here and they offered me 3 months free management. They offered me free photography. They offered me this, they offered me that. So if anyone's out there saying, I don't care what anyone else is doing, and all of a sudden the owners are throwing this stuff at you, you're going to be on the back burner. You need to go into a presentation knowing what they're doing and say to an owner, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I understand that you've got other agencies coming and you may have already had some coming, and it's really important to choose the right agency when you're dealing with a $500,000 asset. They're going to be throwing 3 months free management at you. They're going to be throwing free photography. They're going to have all of these incentives to try and win your business. Just know, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we are experts at negotiating. We are experts at our marketing. We are leasing properties faster. We are saving average on clients X amount of dollars, whatever it is for your agency. And that's because we know how to negotiate. When a tenant moves in, when a potential tenant rings up, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, our job is to convince them to come to our viewing over the other 4-bedroom house down the road. And then our job is to convince them and educate them that they are to be applying for a property with us instead of someone else. And then our job is then educating them they need to move into the property quicker. And then our job is to educate them, no, they can't have 15 dogs, 6 cats, 10 cars and 5 boats. And our job is then to continue to educate them that they have to let us do routine inspections, they have to pay the rent, and et cetera, et cetera. We are educational experts in negotiating, and that's just knowing your worth, backing it up with stats, so it doesn't matter what anyone else offers. Darren, there's trainers out there that are charging, so much cheaper than what we charge. And I'm not going to get into it, right? But we know our worth. We know our training works, et cetera, et cetera. And a BDM has to be the same. And you need to know what your rivals are doing, and you need to know where you're standing in the marketplace. And if you're not at the top, you know what you've got to do to get to the top.
No excuse. No excuse.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
sorry,
guys,
I went on a tangent, guys. I'm just so passionate about being the best at what you can.
Let's wrap this up. But well done. Of course, if anyone wants to have a Secret Shopper report done so they can see what's going on in their marketplace with their competitors, just go to secretshopperfiles.com. There's a form there. You'll get in touch with Michael. He'll be in touch and have a chat with you. So, guys, well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.